Okay, some people like long videos that show going from basic first few houses and whatnot all the way up to castles and monastery and whatnot. But other people like real short videos. Now, in the short videos, you can't cover quite as many topics and you can't say quite as much, but you can break up the building schemes into smaller pieces, and that's what we're going to try to do. All right, we've got the basic game going now. I'm going to go into load game first, and I'm going to delete this one so that we can use the same town name and everything again. And then we're going to get out of this by hitting the escape key and go to new game. Now, no matter how you look at it, this game requires a lot of endurance. Now, I'm going to use the first one since it's usually the most popular and the easiest one to start. We'll reduce the ocean size a little bit. We'll keep the bay area about the same size, which is what you see right here. The lake, we'll go ahead and make it a little bit smaller. Islands, no, we don't want to mess with islands unless you like building bridges and stuff. Cliffs, yeah, well, we'll put it up a little bit. Hills, we'll bring it down. And slopes, we'll bring it down so the ground is more or less flat. And there we go. Now we go to the rules. Now, the first thing to know about the rules, if it's white, then that's the answer to what is being offered. Now, I'm going to be making this for new players, so we'll leave it on. And we'll get the tutorial, which will change how the game looks a little bit off and on. So, ignore anything that's dark and look at what is white. That's your rules. That's how you're going to play the game. Now, they decide offhand if it's going to be classic or if it's going to be casual. They decided that these rules say it's going to be a classic game. Now, if you start changing these, it'll probably go to custom. Now, you've always got to make it harder to play, and you can also make it more creative by allowing or disallowing certain things. Okay, let's move on. Now, we're not going to do these others because in these others, you're not supposed to do certain things. Like you're not supposed to build a castle. You're not supposed to build a monastery or, something. So we'll just leave it like it is. And we'll go with the basic so we can do everything. Okay, the crest. This is the symbol they use for mostly if you're going to do like castles and stuff. It'd be your focus. This one here, kind of the same idea. This one is usually used to show clergy. So you're going to focus on monastery. And this one is a little bit of everything. But I usually reduce it to 1. And then I go for high contrast. So let's see. That one's a little better on the high contrast. And then we'll go with the white to make it pop out even more. Of course, you might prefer the silver, but I like the white for the high contrast. Now, if we go over here on this side, this is the top of your crest, and this is your bottom of your crest. These would be the ones you would select for a very traditional shield design, but you've got other choices. Now, instead of having X, I like the fat chevron. And instead of having what would you call that, a brownish background, I usually go with something like this. Kind of a goldish orange color. And then for the center chevron, I'm looking for high contrast. So I'll probably go with that color there. But you can pick a different color that suits your fancy. Now, as far as the name goes, I'm going to back this up and I'm going to type in endure. And for the name of me as the player, because I'm not going to be the Lord Mayor, the little dictator that tells them what to do, what they can't do, we'll go with, let's see, how about just Fred? Yeah, that's good enough. All right, we'll start the game. Now, you don't have a choice here. That's the only label they've got. You're going to see these rules if this is the first time you've played. And these rules are basic information, but in each case, there's a little detail that they're not revealing. So you can't take these rules too seriously, like as if they're law that cannot be modified in some way, or is missing information to make the rule effective. But we'll go over some of that. In the meantime, I'll just go ahead and put the recording on pause to keep the video short. Okay, we're in. Now, we've got the tutorial on, so of course we're going to have to always read a little bit and then hit here. Then we're going to need to watch a little bit, try to understand what they're showing, and then say got it. Now, what they want you to do, well, I'm going to just right-click with the mouse on that to get rid of it. You see over here on the left side, use your W key for up and your S key to go back, A key to go left, and your D key to go right. Pretty simple, not much to it. It's pretty standard for most games. All right, mouse wheel, you go. Oh, I need to get my cursor over here because it won't work as long as I'm looking at that. All right, so zoom in and zoom out. Now they want us to do the camera thing, so we got the R key, bird's eye view, and we've got the F key to get down to the rabbit and mouse view. Now we've got the Q key to rotate in one direction, and we've got the E like an echo key to rotate in the other direction, just like it showed over there. Okay, now we got to pick a territory. Now what they're showing, if we click here, we got it, is you up and then you're up like this, and you're looking to see what's available, and as your cursor passes over it, now notice they're not showing you every possible, they're just showing what they're going to let you start with. So do you want to start over here in the corner of the map play zone or area, or do you want to start in some other? Now another option, of course, is to click here on the map and then look down. There's a spot right there you can start with, and where's it's not reacting. There it goes. There's another spot. Now that one wouldn't really be too bad, and you just left click if you like it. Otherwise, you get out of the map, you move using your camera control keys like this. There's the other corner, so to speak, and then you go back into the map view. We're at the other corner, and you decide that you want to start over here and move your way towards the center of the map. Now, if you don't want to do that, just click up here, move like so. Now look at the map view. These are your camera control keys, very basic. Now the map they gave us has a lot of water on it, a lot more than normal. And if you don't see anything that looks big and juicy and ready for you, then you just keep doing like I was showing you. And here's the other corner. And you say, oh, well, I don't want the corner. I want to be in the center of the map. So you have to play with this and maybe use the Q or E key to kind of straighten the map up a little bit. And that's probably getting pretty close to the center. Yeah, I'd say we're pretty close. And that's not a bad spot. Maybe you want to be closer to water so you can start off with fishing real quick after just buying a little extra territory. I'm going to go with that one actually looks bigger, doesn't it? The first one's free, so I'll click on it while I'm still in the map. Boom. Now I'll get out of the map. I should be there, but they want you to do a little bit. They will show you that you got to place your first starting supplies, and then right away they'll give you your first starting villagers. Okay, so now we'll get out of the map, left click. Most of the game is a left click. All right, now I like to know where the border is, so what I do is I go up here where it says visibility, I left click, and then I click on this one right here, territory boundaries. Now when I back off and I look, I should be able to find my area a little bit quicker. Oh geez, I spoke too soon. Well, we're towards the end of the map. Huh. All right, where's our territory? Oh boy. Oh, there, is that it? It should be. It's highlighted borders. Yeah, that's got to be it. Now we can do the map thing again. And oh dear, it's not showing it. Well, this game has been active for 6 years and it seems like it still has a lot of problems. Well, anyway, let's click here first. And they're going to build a village center. Now notice the spelling is C-E-N-T-R-E instead of E-R on the end. That's telling you that very high, what I would call European influence on even the spelling. There we go. Now if we try to go over here, we're outside our territory, so we can't place it. Now, what you should think is, okay, which direction are we going to expand in? Towards the water? Or do we want to grab whatever's available here? It's got 1, 2, 3 possible high value things that we can mine. So I'm going to put it right here in this corner. I'm going to zoom in with the mouse wheel and go like this. Now, when you see the flower spots and scrub brush, you can't do anything with any of that. The only thing you can do is these berry bushes for food and these trees for wood. All right, so we'll say build. Boom, we're dedicated. We have just started our game. Now, most people will put that first start point towards the center of their territory that they just got for free. And we start out as a hamlet, and there's the name Endure. Now, the next thing they want to do is say, all right, you've got that done. Click on the question mark. They're going to give you some advice, and we'll say, of course, we have to click here to dismiss this and get ourselves into practice. Now, the first building is going to be this one, which is how we start the game and start building. So I'm going to go ahead and just click it right here and move it a little bit, kind of like halfway in between, and pay the 5 wood. And it's coming out of this stash of stuff, which you might call starting supplies. So we'll pay, boom. It doesn't need to be built, it just appears. Now they're telling you, you want to assign some people there and get busy. Now they're just saying assign 1 person there, but there's going to be a lot of buildings, so I'm going to do 2 right quick. They're going to go to the spot. Now we've got a new building to put in, and the new building is a slumber camp. So obviously we want to take a look at our area. Now we don't have to put it in the clear. We can put it right in anywhere inside the border lines. So let's see. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, rotate the map, and I don't want to put it too close to the berry bushes. I want to have a little space. And I'm going to do like so, and then I'm going to say, okay, I want to rotate it. This is a left click drag, and kind of point it towards this starting point, and then pay the 10 gold. We start with 450. The maximum we could ever have is 500. If we ever get awarded more than 500, we lose it. We automatically lose it. And we got that. Now the builders are supposed to get active. There we go. And they'll go build that using the supplies that we start the game with. And since we have 2 builders, this should go a little bit faster. But I'm going to go ahead and click down here in the lower left where it says increase game speed. I'm going to click on that and put it times 2. Now, we could go a little faster, times 3, but that's not probably a good idea right now. I'm going to do 2 right quick. And yeah, that's what I thought. I could have done 3, I guess. Now they're going to say you've got to give the builders permission to cut down the trees or they won't do anything. So say got it. And notice we got a new paintbrush option here. We'll click on it. And this one is the one where we say it's okay to chop down these trees. Now, I'll go ahead and hold down the control key. You've got 2 of them on your keyboard. Doesn't matter which one you hold down. And we'll move the mouse wheel. So we can make this bigger or we can make it smaller. I'm going to go big. Now let go of the control key and then I'll just click. We just gave her permission. Now we can also back the map up with the mouse wheel, rotate it out a little bit. And we can do a left click and a drag to give them more trees to cut. You can also use this to define where your border is, so it's more obvious. And I'm going to cut down just about every one of these trees at some point. So let's go ahead and give them permission to cut them all down. So we've got the whole area identified as A-OK, cut down the trees. All right, so now we can push our escape key, or we can left click right here. I'm going to left click this time, and it'll dismiss that. Now you see this, we got a circle with a little exclamation point in it, little white dot there. That means you've got something new to do. So we'll click on it, and it says, we've already done this. So now let's put in the forester camp. Very, very smart. Because if you forget this and you run out of wood before you can buy some wood from a trade partner in another city or town, then your game is over. All right, so let's get down here, and it seems logical to put it real close. Now it's got a little, see that little triangle right there? That's how they get in and out. Since they've got a trail started, I'm going to use that to my advantage as an alignment tool. Now the other thing I have to be mindful of is not getting too close and creating a choke point where they can't get past. I'll need about 1/4 of an inch, or what appears to be about 1/4 inch of separation there. Pay the 10 gold, Boom. Now, we're not going to put anybody in there to work just yet. Instead, I'm going to focus here and get the third person in there, because they're going to be a way to prevent the problem of running out of wood. That's called a forester camp. And the builder is busy. There we go. Now, they're going to give us a little slideshow, you might say, telling us what the forester camp is for. Notice how they're drawing the zone for the forester to go to work when we assign them to the building and plant new trees. Now, in the original version of this game, way back around 6 years ago, you had to tell them what kind of trees to plant. And that was a decision based on what kind of trees you want them to have available for the lumber camp folks to cut down, because different kind of construction required very specific types of trees. So anyway, there we go. We got that done. We're not going to worry about putting anybody in there right now. All right, so we've got a new building available now. And we've already got this from the lumber camp. Now we want to gather berries. Now, as soon as you click on it, it's going to tell you where berries are located, even though they're outside of our zone and we cannot pick them. But as you can see, there's plenty of berries further to pick. So right now, it would probably be best to put it right here and then point the entrance and exit point. And we can go ahead and zoom in, make sure we're not creating a choke point. So I will want to rotate this a little bit and then back it off a little bit. And I think that's going to do just fine. Pay the 10 coin. We're pointing towards the berry bushes. Now we could have rotated it so that it's actually pointing but not overlapping the roadway they've got started here right now. But they're going to make a little trail going back and forth these berry bushes anyway. These trails become dirt paths that get deeper and deeper as they keep going over the area back and forth. Now they're always going to return to the center spot, this beginning spot, to take a break. They don't stay on the job forever. They just take the breaks when they feel the need. And we need to assign people to the building, so we click, and then like I was showing, boom, boom, boom. And now it went dark. That's because we have all 3 slots filled. It could also be because there's nobody up here that's unemployed, but I can look up here and see it says villages are employed. I've got 2 right now. All of the happiness is at 0. They're not very happy. And you can see why. They don't have refined food, they don't have water, and they don't even have rustic food. Well, the berries will be rustic food. All right, so they're giving you some advice, needs, and happiness. And we'll say, okay, cool. And the next need, of course, is housing. And what they're showing you is one way to do it. It may not be the best way to do it right off, but it is a way to get started. Now, you can't move housing around like you can everything else, just about. You just have to tell them to go build somewhere else, according to your building plan. So I'm going to go ahead and click here like it's telling me there's something new to do. And I'm going to click here to define the residential zone. All of these are called zones. You got your wood cutting zone, which is in blue, and then this one will be a green. Now, instead of using a big old circle, I'm going to hold down the control key and shrink it down a bit. Now, if I back up from the main map, I say, okay, my basic scheme is very medieval planning. And that means we need a central round zone that later we'll put walls around, we'll put towers on it, and inside there will be the Lord Mayor's house, which they call a manor, M-A-N-O-R, something that's also very European. And we'll also put our castle keep there towards the center of that circle. So it's a pretty big circle. But what we need to do now is define where do we want to start that circle. Well, normally you put it around this. But right now we're on the corner. We're not up here in the middle. So we'll have to buy this piece of land when we can. Right now we don't even have the option. There's no little flag option right in here to buy land. Or I should call it territory, since the game calls it territory. But we can go ahead and start the housing. Now, since they're going to keep going back here, let's see if this circle is big enough. If it is big enough, you'll see packages of materials like wood stuff show up. And they're giving you a little spiel about what the purpose of the housing is and how to, designate the zones and all that. All right, so let's see. Let's right click up here. Oh, they've decided the circle's not big enough, so we'll hold down the control key, go a couple clicks more, and try again. Now, if they decide the zone is big enough, the builders, unless they're on break, will lay down little packets in there right away. Now, it looks like they don't like it. They don't like it, think it's big enough, so we'll go a little bit bigger and see if they'll accept it. Nothing happened. Maybe it's because it's overlapping. So I'll tell you what, let's change it to a square. And let's put another one. We'll rotate the map around a little bit. There we go. And then let's go back a little bit. And we'll try this. Will they like the square? Or it's not big enough either, huh? Okay, make it a little bit bigger. Wow. I don't remember it needing to be that big. Well, apparently it needs to be bigger. Wow, I'm confused. Why is it they don't like that? Let's put one over here and see if they like that one better. No, they don't like that one either. Is the tutorial forcing me to use the zone identification system? I can explain why. Oh, there you go. That's big enough. So this one needs to be a little bit bigger in the territory that I have control over. There we go. See how that showed up almost instantly? Now it's big enough. All right, let's go back to the circle design. We know that this one's not going to work, so we'll do a right click with the mouse to remove it. Hopefully we didn't screw that up too much. Let's go back to the square and redesign this edge here. Now let's go back to the circle and let's see. Is the circle big enough or does it need to be bigger? Nope, that's the right size. So from here on out, we can come over here to this circle to make our circle bigger, or we could come over to this one or the other one to make sure our square is big enough. All right, so we've got 3 houses. Now, how many people do we have? We have 10 people. Each house will only hold 2 people. Let me get out of this first. We'll click on the house. So we're going to need, what, a total of 5 altogether? And we have to stay within the area we have. So let's put another square down. But we cannot over or even touch this industrial zone. We can get close, but we can't get too close. Now, I kind of don't like doing it because of the berry bushes right there, but I don't think I have a choice right now. And I don't want to overlap this square very much at all. And I don't want to go too far this way, or they may not accept it. Building supplies showed up right away, no problem. All right, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, so I need one more. And I'll have to put it right in here somewhere. Oh, we went over so we better back it up just a little bit more like that. And did supplies show up in there? I can't really tell. Yeah, they've got a cart in there, just like they've got a cart in here, so it looks like we've got it. We've got ourselves a start. Unfortunately, we're going to run out of space before too much longer. But anyway, if you look here after clicking on a house, and let's see, we clicked the one that was already built. Well, let's click on this one right here. All of them will give you the same information, except of course the occupants might be different. That's a woodcutter, and that's a forager, picking berries. And builders, remember the builders do everything. So if you've got more than one project going on like we did with this housing, then you're going to want more builders. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we're short one. Wait a minute. Yeah, I don't think we have a total of 5. I think we only got a total of 4. So we need to do another one. We could go with the square and put it like right in here. Or we could go with a circle rounded brush and put it, it looks like we could put it right there without any problem. I'll go in just a little bit more. And then we'll go ahead and just, this time I'm going to use the escape key. Now, did they put some building materials in there, or are they all busy? Because I think we only have 2 builders, don't we? 1, 2, 3. Oh, we've already got 5 houses. And that's why they're not getting busy on that next spot. They don't need it yet. Well, we'll just leave it there for now. And I'll just click there to turn off paint. Now, if you want to see your paint positions and your zones, because technically that's what we've created, go up here and you see this one right here, and they'll stay displayed until you turn this off by left clicking again. Now I'm going to left click on this one, because if these are highlighted, they're nice and bright and white, then they'll give us warning signs that something's going on. And then I'll left click there. Turn that off. Now we'll use the F key like in Frank to look around a little bit. And I'll use the Q key to rotate. We still got a little bit of territory we can work with. Now we've got berries. So what do they want us to do now? Build a well. Well, that's nice and dandy, but they kind of forgot to tell us that we need rock. The well requires rock. So this is what we need, Stonecutter's Camp. As soon as we click on it, it tells us where the stone is. There's some back here. And we're not in a housing zone, so we should be able to put this in right next to that rock pile. We do have to be careful about the footprint. See how that arrow turns red? That means we've got that blocked. We're too close. You see the blue lines? That's your footprint. You can't overlap footprints without creating a problem where they'll get blocked path messages. So we place it, then we can rotate it and decide if that's a good position for it or not. And we're looking at that, what I call a 1/4 of an inch of separation between, in order to prevent getting any blocked path messages. Pay their 10 gold. And do we have any unemployees? Yes, we do. So the most we could assign to that job is 2. Once they get the trees out of the way, that's inside the footprint, that blue border that went around this. But we'll have to wait. We'll click on it. And as soon as they give us the option, we'll put 2 people in there and get them to work. Uh-oh. They don't. If you look right here, they don't have the 2 tools they need. Now they do. Now they need 10 wood, and then they can get busy on the building. Right now, if we look up here at resources, it says we've got 84, so that's not a problem. We've got plenty of wood. Now, you could either run out of wood and get trapped, and that's why I said it's very important to put the forester's house up, or actually it says workspace, so that if you do run out of wood, the forester can go busy and restock, planting trees. And it's very easy to do when you only got 1 territory. Okay, so we've got 2 people unemployed. Boom, boom, boom. We can keep clicking on this, but you see it turn gray. We don't have any more people that we can put there. Okay, now we can go ahead and decide where we're going to put the well. Well, I normally put the well where they like to gather when they go on break, which is right here. This is also where the new immigrants will show up looking to be hired. So let's go ahead and click here, and let's put the well in, or at least get it started. I'm going to put it right about there, or anywhere around this circle. It'll save travel time. They're coming here for take a break anyway, so they might as well get themselves a little something to drink. There we go. And we still have some gold left, which is good. That's the maximum we can have, like I said before. If we're ever given more than that maximum, it's just gone. It's lost. So it'll be important for us to add a treasury later to the Lord Mayor's house, the manor, so we can have a higher total possible. But if you just rest your cursor there, it tells you in slightly bigger numbers that we have 399 coins left out of the base of 500. We started with 450. They didn't give us a full 500 to start with. All right, so let's use the F key and then zoom in. Now if we click here before she finishes, see how much she had to use? She's almost done. Boom. Now if we look up here under happiness, well, I guess we got to do this first. They're telling us we need to feed the people, and we have to have a food stall for that. Now, if you don't add the canopy before you click to start the build, you will not be able to add the canopy later. There's a lot of things in this game that work that same way, and I'll explain those when they come up. So, good. Now, we're also saying, okay, village market. Then we got to put somebody there as the market tender, or you might call them a merchant, and we want to assign berries to that stall. Now, to me, it makes sense to put it here. So I'm going to put it the opposite side in the, what would you call that, a flower bed? So there's our new indicator to let us know we've got something new we can do. And there it is right there. Now, you'll normally find that where you find the food production, what I call the turkey drumstick or chicken drumstick. So click here. We get your two choices. Now, the white dot that you see there, that's where the merchant's going to stand. So you want to rotate this. Let's put it more into this area. This, where you see that little triangle there, that's where they come up to buy the food. And they only eat one berry at a time. These two over here, that's where the merchant stands or enters and exits the stand. And you can't really see the white dot, but it's right in here. And I'll back it up a little bit more. There's the white dot. And then I'll make sure I don't forget to do this now. Otherwise, I got to destroy everything and start over. Go ahead and pay to have it built. The gold. Now we'll come down with the F key. The builders, when they're not busy, will come over here and get started. And we have just two in there, right? Yeah, just two. I'll keep the two in there for a long time. Eventually, I'll need to add another one because we have a bunch of housing being built or upgraded. But there's a lot we have to do in order for that to happen. And so far, we have not gotten any immigrants show up in here looking for a job. So when will we get immigrants? Oh, they're not showing. There's another thing they'll show here to let us know. Right now, they're just telling us we've got a population of 10. They're all serfs, no promotions. They're telling us what's making them unhappy. We're already up to 50%. Refined food, well, they're not going to get that anytime soon. But we're getting ready to satisfy their rustic food, because berries are rustic food. All right. But we don't have anybody we can add here, do we? No, we don't. We don't have anybody that's unemployed. We're no longer a hamlet, we're now a village. So we've got to go find somebody to put there. Oh, they want us to do this first. They're just going to show us that we can move it if we want to. We don't like the first place where we had put it, and then we could put in another one. Well, we don't have a second food supply, so that doesn't make any sense just yet. So we'll get out of that. And we got to find somebody that we can put in there. So let's see, we've got 3 people here. They're probably gaining some experience level. So let's take one out. See that little, is that a box or a circle with the X in it? I'm not sure. That's one way you could dismiss them from that particular job and put them in as a market. Or you could just go here to the center, click on it. And then you got the same option right over here. Unassign the job. Because she wants rustic food. And there it tells you what the rustic food types are. They're the berries, they're the vegetables, but we won't have that until we have the monastery up. And it's the fish. So let's go ahead and take her out of that job. It'll take a few minutes for her to become available. Well, I should say minutes. It'll take about half a minute. And then we come over here and click. And now we have the option we have somebody available that's unemployed. Bingo. She's no longer unemployed. The other thing we have to do is we have to say, what is she going to sell? Well, the only food item we have right now, of course, are the berries. So boom. And what will happen is she'll have to come up to here where they're gathering berries. And right now they're full, so they've all decided to go on break. They've already got their maximum 50. And you're going to see that symbol a lot. And then all the workers are going to be just like you see right there. They're just kind of hanging out, not doing anything, until some wood gets used, or in this case, some berries get taken out of here for the food stall. And when that happens, they'll all go back to work. And we've got 2 berry pickers that got thirsty. So they automatically went up there to the well, got themselves some water. They're still full of berries. So what did she do? Did she decide to take a break or something? I think that's her, isn't it? Then she decided to go to her house and take a longer break. They got the hat, so they're the berry pickers. They're not the merchant. The merchant, whoops, I need to go back up a bit. I believe it's her right there in blue. She decided to go home. Market tender level 1, yeah, that's her. She decided to go home, take a short break, and sweep the dirt. And you have no control over any of this. Eventually, I guess she'll decide that she ought to go to work. All right, she's going back up this way. She realizes she doesn't have any berries to sell. So she's fetching some berries from the gathering hut. Now she's transporting the berries to the food stall. See, it tells you what's going on. It also gives you some options down here. View where she works. Well, we know where that is. It's right there. View where she lives, because they don't like to live very far away from where they work. That's one of the handicaps that you'll have to get used to and plan for. And if you want to follow the villager, you just click here. But of course, right now, she's just hiding under the tent. See there? Now we're following her. She went ahead over here to the supplies. She took some of the berries out of there. Each of them will eat 1 berry at a time. And if we rotate over like this, and we click right there, it'll tell us she's got 30 berries available. Nobody's consumed anything. The week has changed over. It's day 1 of the next week, the first week of month number 3. So we've already been at this for 3 months. Just now beginning the 3rd month. Now she just sold some berries, but you notice that nothing much is changing over here. Nothing much at all. But we still have a 0. Now it's going to be like that until we open up a trade route and we actually start selling something that we're producing to somebody, a traveling salesman, that again is an automated process we have no control over. There's very, very few things that we actually have control over. That was one of the big changes in the game. A huge difference between how the game played before and now it plays now after all these updates. Okay, did he grab some more berries? I didn't watch this number close enough. I think he did. Yeah, she just grabbed some. Well, she grabbed 1. They only take 1 at a time. That one just grabbed 1. So now if we look up here at the happiness, oh, it just changed. Now we're starting to get some immigrants. You see the happiness jumped up to 75. The only thing they're not happy about, since we've got plenty of housing and we've got plenty of berries for them to eat, is they want refined food. Now, refined is a whole different thing, and that's something I will not supply them for a very long time, primarily because it's a nuisance to keep up with, and you need a lot of territory for farming and all that, and I'm just not going to bother with that for now. All right, what do they got now? Profiting from trade. Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. And they're going to tell you a little bit about the screen that you're going to be looking at. This is how you make progression in the game. And that is what they're showing you right now, right here. Okay, let me go ahead and say got it. They're also going to give you some advice since we clicked on it. And they're going to say acquire storage in the progression menu. And that's going to give us the warehouse. Now, we also need a granary, but for some reason, the tutorial never tells you to build a granary. There's a lot of things that the tutorial should tell you, but it doesn't. Uh-oh, we got some immigrants looking for a job. I'm going to go ahead and claim both of them. And then they're going to want a house and somewhere to work. And right now, I've only got so many places they could get a job. I got to assign one of them as a builder because I got a slot, but I don't need a builder just yet. I could assign them here. I could use another berry picker. That looks like a good choice. I could assign one here. and then do the zone thing to where they can start planting trees. Did I take somebody out of here? Nope, that's still got a full house. How about up here? Come on. I'm going to put one there because that's going to be a primary resource. Now I'm down to one person that's not unemployed. That's not employed. Now I got to provide them a house. So let's see. Oh, he's building a house already. Look at that. We must have provided the zone. Yeah, we did. We provided a zone big enough. So he went ahead, the builder, the second builder, and got busy. So we won't see any messages about not having a building. And now he's going to be satisfying that little bit. Right now, all we got is a -4 for housing. We only accepted 2 people, and the housing only holds 2 people right now. There's a whole lot of upgrades that'll come up later. So that number of -4 will start to shrink. But being up here is really, really nice. All right, so now we need to go into this new flag here called progression. It's a menu. Hotkey is Control P like in Paul. And right now, since we're playing the tutorial, this looks a little different than what they showed you. And what we need is storage, a warehouse and a granary. They both have a very important function. I'm going to right click. Now we'll get out of this. Now, did you notice that all of these cost 25 gold? We're going to want to buy all of those improvements at some point. You have to buy just about everything. Now, strategy. Where do we want to put the warehouse? Which is that one right there. Well, the smart place to put it is near production. And we have 2 production sites, one out here for rock and one out here for wood. Well, wood is the primary one right now. So we'll get bird's eye view with the Roger Rabbit key. We'll make sure we don't get too close so stuff turns red. And that's where that 1/4 of an inch spacing thing comes in. So we don't get messages that the path is blocked. And that looks pretty good overall. So boom. Now we got that's a left click, of course. And then we have to pay for the building. And that's the signal to the builders that get busy. Now, if we click on it before it's finished, it'll tell you what we need for materials for that to happen. Remember, they didn't tell us to put it in rock cutting camp. So there's just a lot of things they don't tell you in this tutorial that they should. And now we need planks. Oh dear, we are not making planks. That's why it's red. Another thing they kind of forgot to tell us. So since I know what is needed, I'm just going to do it. Now they kind of hint that you got something down here. So I'm going to go and look. There it is. Granary. We need to put that in, and sawmill. Now sawmill is important because we can't finish this job right up here until we get the sawmill in. The sawmill, as you can see, has got a big brown. If you get too close to housing, we'll make the housing undesirable, just like just about everything else that's production. We'll zoom in, and we'll get it pretty close to the forester's place, but we need that 1/4 of an inch. Because see, it's got 3 ways in and 3 ways out. So now we could move it this way a little bit more, because we are hurting for space. We only have so much to work with. But I don't want to touch the fence. I want to keep it away from the fence. About that far should work. Boom. We'll pay our 10 gold. They'll get busy. Now we need some employees. Oh, I waited too long. They're all leaving. They said, you didn't offer us employment fast enough. So we'll have to wait until we get the next immigrants in. Now, right now it's saying that we got a very high probability in one day to get some more incoming immigrants. How many? Well, at high, we're probably going to get at least 2, but more likely it'll be 4. We'll have to wait and see how many, if it's 3 or 4. But that's going to put a crunch on housing. So we might as well prepare for that. And let's see, where would we put another housing spot? It looks like we could put another one in here. See, the last time I did the circle, so this time let's do the square. Come on. Oh, I'm clicking on the wrong thing here. No, I'm not. I wanted a square. There we go. Now we want, of course, housing and make sure it's big enough. Yep, that looks big enough. And I'll just use this little area right in here. That looks about right. I'm not overlapping the border. That's not ours. On the other side, we're not overlapping the circle next door. And we fit. Boom. So the builders will get busy just as soon as our population goes up. See, we need 6 houses for the population we already have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll need this one to get started once we have 2 more employees. And we'll put them to work right there. Oh, 4. Well, we only need 2 of you, so sorry guys, that's it. Otherwise, we end up with another housing problem. Uh-oh. It only let us put 1 to work up here. Huh. Why was that? They took away the option. Huh, the game seems to be messing up. We just hired 2 more people. We're up to 14 now. But I can't put them to work in here? Oh, I put them here instead of over here. That only offers 1 spot. All right, so let's click here and let's say, well, thanks, but we don't need you working here. Boom. Now reduce this and click over here and add her in right there. See how it's highlighted now? It's got a yellowish gold color background. So now we got a full house. We got all 3 slots filled. All right, we still have plenty of trees for them to cut down, so we don't really need to do anything with this right now. So that a person who's working there would plant new trees, and once they get big enough, the woodcutters will go and chop them down. And as you can see, the other people that were hoping to get hired, which did not get hired, have left. So now we're down to 0 again. We've got 14 people. Each house holds 2, so we should have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, they don't have this one finished yet, but they're working on it. 7. At the beginning of the game, it would be a mistake to hire too many people too fast, because you won't provide housing, and they will let you know that you don't have enough housing. Now, when he gets that housing finished, as long as the people that we just put into the sawmill, this building right up here, are in agreement that they don't have to go too far to get to their house, because that is a problem with this game. They don't like to walk very far. It takes them off the job too long. And when they try to go back to work, it takes too long to get to the job. And they will make a complaint about that. Now, there's a couple of tricks you could use in early game, and that is you start deleting houses and force the builders to build new ones. And that will rearrange your population. But they won't like it. You'll get a big knock here on the housing, be a big minus number until the housing gets finished, and then the number will shrink back down again. But we've got a real healthy 74% happy right now. And like I said, it would be a bad idea to hire anybody else unless you've got a business that needs employees. So we're not going to hire any of these people, because once you click on them, you're promising to give them a job. Comprende? All right, I think we've got a pretty good start here. So we don't have any buildings that are new that need to be constructed. Well, we can't do anything here for a long time. We don't have any little tick marks telling us that this needs attention. And this, of course, this is everything. If you click on this, you get a big long list of everything. So we're pretty much done. We've got phase number 1 completed. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to say be well until next time. And we're going to end the recording.